Today we're doing one of my most requested videos, DIYs and budget-friendly decor for your outdoor spaces and patios. So I bought a ton of the items for these DIYs at Dollar Tree and I can't wait to show them to you. Now Dollar Tree has hanging planters for just $1, so I picked up one at the store and we're going to update it a little bit. So I started by poking holes at the bottom of the planter. There's like these little tiny circles for drainage, and that's just going to help whenever you put your plant in there. Next, I'm going to spray the planter with 2 coats of Rust-Oleum black spray paint, and I'm also going to be using a flat spray paint. Now I'm going to be using my Cricut Joy to come up with a really fun design, and I want to thank Cricut for sponsoring today's video. You guys, I've been loving the Cricut Joy. I use it all the time. It's so convenient. Being able to just type things in on my phone, it doesn't get any better than that. I love going to the Cricut Design Space and finding designs that are already put together. Like, it's so easy. So I'm going to be using this tropical phone case, but I'm going to be using it for my planter. So I just took the pieces into Design Space, made them the correct size that I needed them to be, and then I duplicated it so I had actually 8 of the tropical leaves. Now I'm going to be putting this on gold vinyl, so I'm going to send it to cut on my Cricut Joy. So I'm going to peel off the excess Cricut material with my weeder. Next, I'm going to place the leaves onto my planter. Now I get a lot of questions. Liz, why aren't you using transfer tape? I'm going to tell you why. So anytime you spray paint something and you use transfer tape, a lot of times the spray paint will pull up. So I find it just easier to pull it off and put it on the item that I want it to be on. I was making it look really freeform too. Like I wanted some of the leaves at the bottom, some kind of at the middle. I wanted it to look really artistic. To replace the cord that was in the planter when I bought it, I'm going to be using some Nautical Rope. So I'm just going to string that through the 3 little sides and tie it in place. And then I'll pull all of the strings up to the top and tie them together. Now I went to Walmart and picked up this really pretty hanging plant that was pink and beautiful. So I added that to my pot and hung it up outside on my patio. Now, as I was doing all these amazing DIYs, I also had to kind of update my backyard patio set. Now, I needed to replace my rug. The rug I got was from Walmart. I'll link it for you down in the description box, but it was a little bit bigger than the rug I had before, and I think it fills my space a lot better. So after I put my rug out, I added back in my patio furniture. This was all patio furniture that I had from previous years. If I have links to anything, you know I will link it for you down below. Now I thought it would be fun to have a really pretty watering can sitting out. So the watering can I've had for a few years. I picked it up at the Target dollar spot and I love using it. I'm going to be using a floral design that was in the Design Space for this project. So I'm going to put it into Design Space and I'm going to size it to the correct size that I want. And I'm going to make 2 of them. So I'm going to be using vinyl for this. I have a whole array of vinyls to choose from, and I'm going to be using like this dark hunter green color, and I'm going to cut it down to size so it fits on my mat that goes in the Cricut Joy. And I'm going to press go and let it cut out. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the Cricut Joy, it's Cricut's newest machine. It's very compact, so it's great for smaller jobs, but really I haven't found a job that I haven't been able to use it for. I've used it for t-shirts, any decor items that I have, and it's so handy. I'm able to just literally pull it over from my shelf, and I just love the size of it. It's honestly the perfect little machine for me. So after it's done cutting, I'm going to weed out the vinyl, and then I'm going to use transfer tape to put it onto my watering can. And here's a look at how it looks on my patio. I hope that you guys have had luck finding these big planters at Dollar Tree this year. Let me know down in the comments if you've been able to find them. They are so nice, and for $1, it's kind of crazy. I'm going to start by poking holes at the bottom of the planter for drainage. Next, I'm going to spray paint the planter with 2 coats of a flat black spray paint. Now that's all I had to do, and it really updated this planter. In the planter, I'm going to be adding in a fern, which is one of my favorite plants to get. They're usually around $12 at Walmart, and it's one that I could typically keep alive, so I like to get these, and I think they just look so lush. My outdoor patio wouldn't be complete without having some fresh herbs, so I wanted to make some really cute signs. I found these little chalkboard signs with the clips on the back at Dollar Tree. Now these are typically pretty easy to find, so I created some labels for the front of these. So I just went into Cricut Design Space, picked out a font that I like, and then I typed out the herb names. I'm going to print these out on a white smart vinyl. And then I'll just weed them out. I'm going to use transfer tape to put them on my little chalk signs. Now for my plants, I actually picked up a couple of pots at Walmart. They were $2.50, but I liked how they had the drainage. You could also get something similar at Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to transfer the herbs to these cute little white pots. And then I'm going to clip the labels on the top and style them on my coffee table. So one of my favorite summer finds are the solar lights that you can pick up at Dollar Tree. I grabbed 3 of them for this project. Whenever I need wood, I go to my garage where we have quite a few scraps. I actually picked up this piece of lumber back in the fall when I made these cute little pumpkins. So I thought this would be perfect for this project that I wanted to do. So I'm going to cut 3 pieces so that they're at like 3 different heights. I really wasn't concerned about how long they were. I just wanted a small, medium, and large one. Next, I'm going to pop off the bottom portion of the solar light. I'm going to drill a hole down into the center of the wood pieces that I cut. Now my hole, I have to drill it far enough down so that I could fit that little portion at the bottom of the solar light into that little enclosure. Next, I'm going to use some nautical rope that I had on hand, and I'm going to start at the back and I'm going to hot glue it around my wood pieces at the bottom. Now I wrapped this around about 6 times, and I repeated this for all 3 of my wood pieces. Next, I'm just going to pop the solar lights into my wood. Now these were pretty snug, so I didn't have to add any additional glue, but if they wouldn't have been as snug, I probably would have added in glue. And these are great to put out on your outdoor spaces, or you could put them at your front porch and they just have a nice glow at night. Next, we're gonna be making some coasters for our outdoor space whenever we have fun gatherings. Cricut has this new product called infusible ink that's amazing, and I don't know how it works, but it's super cool. You can buy products from Cricut called Cricut Blanks. So they have Cricut Blank coasters. So I picked up a set of 4 of those. And I went into Cricut Design Space and typed in coasters so I could get them the exact size of the blanks, and I just made 4 of them. Next, I sent them to print. I had to print them out on 2 different mats. It basically just cut out a big circle for me. Now to add these to your coasters, you're gonna use a heat press or some kind of heat source. You could use an iron or whatever you have. So you're gonna put down your heat mat. Next, I put a piece of cardboard down just to kind of hold it secure. Then I'm going to lay down the infusible ink with the ink side up. I'm gonna take my coaster and put the shiny side down so that when it heats, it's going to fuse the 2 together. Then I'm going to put this little cloth, and then I'm gonna put the heat press on top. My heat press is gonna be set at 400 degrees, and I'm gonna put it on there for 240 seconds. I'm just gonna set it on there. Then when the 240 seconds is done, take the heat press off, let it cool completely, then you're gonna remove it, and let me just tell you, this is infused. I mean, you don't need anything else. Like, I wish you guys could feel this and see how smooth of a finish this is. It's pretty cool. This is gonna be dishwasher safe. You can do it on cups and mugs. This is really neat. Here is how I styled the coasters out on my patio. Next, we're gonna make a really cool rug from Dollar Tree products. So I picked up a rectangular rug at Dollar Tree. So I wanted my rug to actually be a half circle. So I found this piece of basket weave that I had in my craft room to make it be a nice curved little section, and I taped it down. Next, I traced around that edge to give me that nice even curve. Then I went in and I cut off the excess. Next, I'm going to be using a nautical rope. Now, I ended up using 1.5 spools of this off of Amazon. So I started by making loops at the top of my rope, trying to make the loops as even as possible. And then I would hot glue them to the base of the rug, the black part of the rug. I would hot glue those down. And I made those loops all the way around. Now, I actually kind of figured out this pattern as I was going. Next, I added in 3 rows of nautical rope. From there, I went to the bottom of my little loop section and started adding in more nautical rope. Then I created another loop section by just hot gluing them together. And I didn't measure this. I tried to just make it as even as possible when I was creating my loops. Then I finished the piece off by just continuing on with the nautical rope. And here's a look at how this rug turned out. I definitely needed to create a wreath. I'm gonna be using those gold rings that I love from Walmart. You can get them in a pack of 3 for $2.88. I'm gonna be using the larger one. I also picked up a variety of florals from Dollar Tree and also some eucalyptus garland from Walmart. So I'm gonna start by adding the eucalyptus garland to the bottom portion. Next, I'm gonna be adding the white florals that I pulled off and add those to the bottom of the wreath. Now, all of these pieces I'm gonna be hot gluing on. I also had this little lavender mix that had some really cool like greenery pieces. So I'm gonna pull those off and add those around as well. Next, I just went in and added where I needed to add. So if I needed some more eucalyptus or some more white flowers, I added those in. Now this would be perfect on your front door. Here's a look at our wreath. So I want to give a shout out to all of our All Access Patreon members. Each of these members have access to a DIY Zoom meeting with me monthly. We get together and craft, and it's so much fun. If you want to hear more information about it, you can check the link down below. I want to thank Cricut for sponsoring today's video. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. I post 2 DIYs each week, and I don't want you to miss out. And I'll talk to you guys in our next one. Bye.